Yeah, hey, what's up, everybody? We're here in Barcelona. I just got to the Richard Meier Museum of Contemporary Art. I'm loving it. It's pretty cool. There's a bunch of people hanging out literally a couple minutes ago. There's about 300, 400 people all hanging out, skateboarding. Loving it, man. They're just sitting here having a good time, hanging out, listening to music, dancing around, and it's all kind of in this backdrop of this magnificent building by Richard Meier. Yeah, it makes me so happy to have these young kids just kind of hanging out, experiencing culture and just doing their thing. You can kind of see it in the background. Super magnificent, man. They got a big ass plaza right here, and yeah, it's really a cultural center. It's kind of amazing. Everyone's kind of hanging out, using the space for what it's meant for, having a good time. So yeah, welcome to Barcelona. So fun. The Guggenheim effect, where a world-class architect is hired specifically to come into a neighborhood to revitalize, increase the cultural awareness, to provide economic stimulus to depressed areas. The museum opened in 1995, and still to this day, it has provided this amazing building, but also a cultural kind of cornerstone where the local people gather and hang out. And not only that, a huge amount of tourism is generated by, architecture fans, or even, lovers of art will come down and, visit the museum, go have some dinner, have some drinks in the neighborhood. And so it's this really kind of amazing catalyst for the transformation of this gritty neighborhood. Back at the badass museum, and then check it out, still people hanging out, doing their thing. And look at this, right in the plaza. They set up a freaking stage, man. They're rocking out. They're doing a thing. They're getting a rock on, and it's freaking amazing. I just can't believe. Okay, it's Sunday night. It's, I don't know, it's late, whatever. And still, people are hanging out. Richard Meier has a very defined set of tools in his architectural language. 99% of his buildings are all white, inside, outside. The idea of how light interacts with the building. The white gives this pure palette so the light can dance and reflect. The white backdrop just has this amazing transformation from, sunrise with the pinks and purples to, high noon with the, brilliant blue sky and the white building. It's just this amazing way that he focuses the colors and the contrast and the movement of light. Who goes to the most amazing architectural museum in the fucking city to hang out and have a festival on the square? I love this place, so freaking cool. The use of the grid, starting with the structural components of the building. All the columns and the bearing walls are aligned on this very regimented grid. Essentially informs every move, whether it's the top of the window aligning to the grid, or the big rectilinear form, and then you've got the fins that are horizontal, you've got the vertical fins. Everything aligns on a grid. The east side of the museum, there's this curvilinear form that's floating, and the rest of the building is a rectangle, and then all of a sudden he introduces this curved form. Inside, it's a special gallery space, but outside it kind of steps away from the grid, and yet at the same time, when you look from a distance, the top and the bottom of that curved form is aligning with the horizontal grid. So even though it's curvy and round and it's got these great, smooth arcing surfaces, the curvilinear is met with the linear, and the grid carries all the way through. It's like a magnet. You just can't get away from the awesomeness of Richard Meier. Transparency that he does in his designs, where he'll have the rectilinear forms and he punches out big walls of glass Because it's south facing, it gets this huge amount of sun throughout the day. What Richard does is employs a system of brise-soleils. Horizontal fins allow the view from inside to out and from outside to in. The idea is that when the sun in the summer is high up in the sky, say at high noon, the brise-soleils will cast the shadow, and so as the sun comes down, the solar gains are met with the fins, and underneath it, it's a shadow. It still allows the ambient light to pass through, so you still have all the brightness of high noon, but what the brise-soleil does is it eliminates the heat gains. To the casual observer, you might not even really notice the brise-soleils, which is exactly what he wants. It's a very subtle detail that is extremely important to the comfort and temperature of the building.
Barcelona, this has been a great stop. So glad I made it down here. Rock on.
Loving the grid.